When you think about talent, you talked about hiring all of these computer programmers. So is there a skill gap that you find that you run into when looking for talent?
There's definitely a shortage, and I know there's a lot of conversation around immigration and immigration reform and education and all of these different things, but being in a market like New York, we're also hiring, we have engineering teams in Tel Aviv and we're building an engineering team in Dublin. It's just very difficult to find people with the right skills, and they do tend to be transient. They tend to kind of come and work for a while at the place and then they move on, not really I think to find a better opportunity, but just they're curious people and they want to go and try something else. So I think the challenge is less, for technologists, is less about skill gap than it is keeping them engaged, making them feel like they're continually sort of expanding their portfolio as engineers, as developers, and giving them continuing, like sort of increasing challenges to be able to work on. That's important, I think, from a retention standpoint, because you're in a battle for talent out there, and there's a lot of really big companies like Google and Apple that are actively hiring in those markets, and we have to be able to compete within our niche for that. In terms of skill gaps in other parts of the organization, as I mentioned, we're in a niche, and sort of global e-commerce now, it's certainly much more talked about and common than it was when we started. But trying to find people who have specific skills, like marketing skills or logistics skills in global e-commerce, you find that you really don't. So what you have to do is hire people who can learn, that bring the right kind of experience, that form the right kind of basis, and then have the ability really to expand their thinking, to think about how do I adapt what I know to sort of this different reality of crossing borders or moving to different countries, things like that.